The worst moment of my life, I'll probably say, is when I broke up with my girlfriend. In that space of time, it was like everything around me came crashing down. I broke up with my girlfriend, I failed my exams, so I had to go back and retake another year of doing the same subject. Basically, I was in complete debt to something that wasn't my fault. So with that, it created, all of it started to build like a kind of like heaviness on top of my shoulders, because every day I'll be leaving my house and I'll be thinking I've got debts, I'm single, and I've now failed my another exam again. I failed my course initially. So as I was walking around, I met one of the members who was attending the church at the time. The way the guy was projecting himself, it was something that I've never experienced before. The services backed me up, but it was what he was saying as well, that it officially backed me up to make me feel more encouraged to carry on. And when I started to see his example, I reapplied for a course that I failed. The funny thing is I passed the course with flying colours. I was one of the top ones in the class, and then through it I started to apply myself to do different things, because he kept telling me I could achieve it. It got to that point of those words that were said to me from that time, it's feeding me and it still feeds me to this day. And now all I've got in my mind is sky's the limit.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, the topic for this evening is a touchy one. It's not a new one, but it's something that I think many people have to deal with or face on a daily basis, and that is dealing with discrimination. Yes, it's something that people don't really like to talk about because it involves things like racism, it involves probably things like immigration, if you want to bring these kind of today's issues into it, but that's what we're talking about tonight. Now, have you been discriminated against? Maybe because of the color of your skin, maybe your gender, maybe the way you look, or something else. How have you been treated by your peers? How have you been treated by colleagues, friends, or even strangers on the street? Has that affected you? Well, on tonight's program, we have someone who is going to be sharing her experience of discrimination, and it was closer to home than you would think. I have faced discrimination. I remember had racist comments and things like that in the past. I'm sure no matter who you are, no matter your background, you've experienced something. And it's shocking because we live in a multicultural country, depending on where you live, but we still have discrimination. There are still things going on today that I think nowadays is hidden. But I would like to hear from you, your opinion of things. And this is not a debate. We're not talking about, we're not trying to stir up anyone's emotions regarding what has happened to them or issues right now in the UK. But we just want to hear your story and how it has affected you. With me tonight is Victoria, as usual. Hi, Victoria.
Hiya.
And we were just speaking before the program started, something that you mentioned, which was quite, I won't say a shock, but what you mentioned to me about where you come from, and then coming to London and the experience, and then going back to Devon. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so I come from Devon. So Devon is predominantly white, and when I was at school, there were very few ethnic minorities at school, and when you live in an environment where you don't have many minorities, then you don't tend to think about it very often. But then I moved to London when I was about 26, I think. And it was a huge shock. It was lovely. I love multiculturalism and diversity, and really got used to it and embraced it. But then I was saying, when I went back to Devon, it's quite a shock. Because I arrived off the train and I would think, there's something
not right,
a bit different here. And then it would take me a moment. I say, oh, everybody's, tends to be the same colour. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. And we were talking about the reasons for that. So I was talking about how immigration tended to come into London and maybe slightly north, like Birmingham, those kind of places. And it tends not to go down to Devon. And then we were just discussing how jobs are sometimes predominantly white in this country, such as farming. So we were just sort of getting into all kinds of conversations about that kind of thing.
So that was something that we spoke about, which was an eye-opener for me. Now, what about you? Have you been experiencing, you've had a personal story that you like to share with us? If you do, then you can give us a call. We're live. You can email us and Victoria will read out your email. We'd like to hear from you on the topic of discrimination. We've got a video now. We're going to show you. So take a look at this.
Since you are engaged with another true love, your heart is when your heart was mine, true love, and your head lay on my breast, you could make me believe by the falling of your arm that the sun rose up in the west. There's many a broken girl about, and hear the small birds sing. And many a girl that stays at home alone and rocks the cradle and spins. There's many a vow to tangle us. There's many a leaf below. There's many a dam we laid upon the man for serving a poor girl so.
Maman, regarde. Ouais.
Right, what did you think about that? You know, did you think what maybe most people would think would happen? Or were you surprised by that? Well, as I said, we'd like to hear your opinion on this, and it's a touchy subject, but we'd like to hear your opinions, whether you're in the Highlands of Scotland, or whether you're in the fields in Devon, or here, right here in London. We'd like to hear your experiences. So Victoria, what's the contact details, please?
So if you'd like to speak to somebody right now, our number is 020 7686 6300, or you can send us an email. The email address is help@findinganswers.tv. Or if you'd like to talk to us via Twitter, then send us a tweet. Start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or you can like our Facebook page and talk to us via that.
Okay, brilliant. Now, I just want to, before we go for a break, I just want to leave you with two definitions. The difference between prejudice and discrimination. Now, I remember at university when we were young, university, went to learn, went to share our opinions and think we could change the world. We had debates and things like that at university, and there was topics saying, people saying things like, black people cannot be racist. Only white people can be racist. Black people can be prejudiced. Do you agree or do you disagree? Or I would say any ethnic minority. I want to hear your opinion. Now, let's get the definitions right and get you thinking before you go to the break. Prejudice in my understanding, and you're the psychologist, right? You've come from that background. To be prejudiced means you prejudge someone or something without having a concrete evidence of that person thinking that way or behaving that way. Whereas discrimination, you discriminate against someone because of an action that you've maybe physically seen or you have evidence about. Am I right in saying that, or can you correct me on that, Victoria?
I've not ever heard of it like that. In my understanding, a prejudice is an opinion that's usually negative of a minority group or somebody from a smaller group than your own. And discrimination is the actual act of doing something against them. But it could be either, it could be both.
Now, do you agree with her or not? Do you have your own opinion? We would like to hear from you, okay? And as I said, if you want to give us a call, then we would like to hear your story or hear your opinion on this subject. We're going to go for a break now. And when we come back, we're going to have a caller. We're going to have as well our guest tonight who will be sharing her story. So we'll see you after this.
Lord, I'm struggling. Show me what I have to be thankful for.
By the way, it's not a bill, it must be umpteen bills. It was upon the Senate Finance Committee to get to work on a tax reform. Well, the first thing we want to make sure is that we raise the tax
Lord, I'm struggling. Show me what I have to be thankful for.
Welcome to your help centre, conveniently located right here in the heart of Finsbury Park. Open 7 days a week with 4 services daily, there's surely something for everyone. No matter what time of day, there will always be a spiritual advisor on hand, ready to speak to you. Call our 24-hour helpline, your place to open up any time of the day. No problem is too complex, so don't be dismayed. In fact, we have daily sessions that can tackle issues related to every area of your life from the inside out. If you're looking for uplifting advice, a listening ear, or maybe just a prayer to put your mind at ease, then feel free to come in. We also offer free childcare facilities during all of our meetings. We'll take care of them as if they were our very own. Or for teens and youths, express your talents right here in our youth group, proudly one of the biggest youth groups in the UK. If you need our support, you will find it. From the training centre to support groups for single parents and the abused, free, confidential help is at hand. There's no appointment necessary, so you're welcome. And what's more, all the services we offer are all completely free. The advisors will give you practical, non-judgmental advice that will take the weight off your shoulders. Also, if you're looking for special gifts or an inspirational read, then why not visit our bookshops? We have a comprehensive range of thought-provoking literature at great prices. We work hard to provide for all of your needs from the inside out. Helping people is what drives us, so you're welcome.
Hi, welcome back to Finding Answers. The phones have been ringing, so I would like to just take the first caller before we go to our testimony. Good evening. Hello?
Good evening.
Hi.
Hello.
Who am I speaking to?
Good evening. Karima?
Karima. Hi, Karima.
Yeah.
Hi. What would you like to add to this program?
Yeah, I would like to speak about the discrimination.
Go ahead, yes.
Yeah, I personally, I don't like it because it really do put down people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it put down people a lot. And it happens to many people, and then it makes them suffer from depression, and it really holds people back as well.
Karima, so your line is quite bad. I don't know if it's your phone or our phone here. Can you just try to speak up, or if you're on a mobile or something, just stay in one place and talk there?
Yeah.
Could you repeat what you just said?
Yes. I personally doesn't like discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
I think it people back, and it lets people suffer from depression.
Depression, yeah.
Low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm. Have you experienced racism or discrimination yourself at all?
Yeah, I've faced discrimination before.
Could you explain how?
It's by my my culture and my skin color.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
Type of job.
In terms of looking for a job?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you tell us what happened?
It's basically like you're looking for a job, and because the skin color is not that brown, you doesn't allow to get a certain job. You have to be white or brown skin,
mm-hmm.
and it really holds you back as well, because some jobs you try to get and you wouldn't get them because of your skin color.
Karima, let me stop you there. Was that in this country?
Yeah, it was in my country.
In your country? Where are you from?
Yeah, Jamaica.
Jamaica. So because of your skin color, are you dark-skinned or light-skinned?
Yeah, dark skin.
You're dark-skinned. So you felt you were discriminated against because you were a darker complexion?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was going to actually say, if that was over here, what made you so sure that you were discriminated against? But because you said it was in your country, and you see that there are some cultures within a culture, there are some ideas that people have that the darker your skin color, the poorer you are, or you're less well educated, and maybe that's what they thought about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you overcome that? Has that affected you still today, or that doesn't bother you anymore?
Today I overcome that, but before it used to bother me a lot because of that it let me suffer from depression. I was shy. I didn't have I have low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I always look down on myself.
Yes.
And if I try to apply for a job, even though I would have the qualification, I would look down on myself, and I would tell myself before I even go for the interview, no, I'm not going to get that because it happened to me many times already, and I got put down like that. So I would never try to go the level that I'm on. I would go under, settle for under because of what happened before.
Yes. Karima, thank you for sharing your story with us. Now,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. If you have a similar story, within your culture or here in the UK or elsewhere, then please give us a call and share with us your story, all right? So we're going to go and listen now to tonight's testimony. Her name is Kimberly Gordon, and you're going to hear her story. And we're also going to take some calls as well.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
My guest tonight is Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. How are you? Not shy, are you?
No,
Not
really.
nervous?
Not
All
really,
right.
no.
So, you have a story to tell, okay, about this topic. You were discriminated against, not by a stranger, but actually someone very close to you. Okay, before we do that, I just want to take a quick phone call. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello?
Hello,
Hi, who am I speaking to, please?
Fatima.
Fatima.
Hi,
Fatima,
yeah.
Fatima.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I know you're a fan of this program.
Yes. I just wanted to make a quick observation
Yes.
that discrimination is very, very subtle because basically, like for instance, I'm Asian, British Asian,
Yes.
and if I were to bring home a black boyfriend, it would just cause great ructions, and yet I'm from an ethnic minority.
Right.
So that happens. Then in jobs, you find that in certain jobs after a certain age, if you're older than 50, you won't get that job because the company has a certain look they want a youthful look or whatever.
Yes.
And there are all sorts of very, very small discriminations going around. Like right now, there are more people, let's say, who might have a beard and who look like they're a Muslim who are being picked up or looked at airports because, just to be on the safe side. But often, they're very innocent and they will help you rather than, get rid of you. And especially in the work of work, you find that what happens is then people have to give up their culture and they become too sort of more English than English. They call some people coconuts,
Yes.
brown on the outside and white on the inside.
Fatima, I wanted to ask you, I don't want to play too much or focus on the race side of things. You mentioned about gender, your gender. Have you experienced any discrimination in regards to your gender in the workplace?
Not really, but I think it's difficult to get promoted, especially if you work for an institution like the BBC. I did work for the BBC for some time as a researcher and a journalist. And I think to get promoted is probably the most difficult thing to do.
Right.
You do get passed off in favor of male colleagues. And again, now there's sort of this movement towards people who are younger and, have sort of, for instance, are the face of News at 5. If you look at News at 5, they have a certain description of what they want the presenters to look like, what they want the newsreaders to look like, and it's before you could be a journalist or you could be anyone. If you could do the job, the rest of it didn't matter. But even in jobs like reading the news, now you're getting a lot of actors reading the news, which you wouldn't get before.
Yes.
So it's just like that racism, discrimination, whatever it goes, it's just judging people, even if you don't mean to do it. You kind of do it without realizing that it's very subtle and it's very ingrained. I'm sure you remember the SUS laws when they were picking black men all over the place, and you know, that kind of sort of not even thinking and just picking them up just because of the color of the skin.
Yes.
And in one or two cases, you know, they were found to be completely wrong out of the people they picked up.
Mm-hmm. Fatima, thank you very much for your call. Okay, thank you for adding your opinion to the program. I think we've got, thank you. I think we have another call on the line. Hello. Hi. Do you have another caller? No. Okay. If you're that caller, if you'd like to call back, if we have any technical difficulties. So, let's get back to you, Kimberly. So, how are you? So you experienced discrimination, right, in your early years.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about that, please?
So I came to this country when I was 6, and I came to live with my dad and my stepmom. And when I went to live with my dad and my stepmom, everything was okay for a bit. But then I don't know why, but the reason of my skin color started to come into question, because I'm not the lightest in my family. So when I went to live with them, my stepmom, she was quite like abusive, like emotionally towards me. She would always say that you're dirty because of your color. And at like
now your stepmom is dark skinned.
My stepmom's dark skinned.
But it doesn't make sense, because when it comes to racism, they normally say that the dark you are, the dirty you are.
Yeah.
But you're lighter than her. So how did that make sense to you?
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me, but because I was so young, it's as if anything you say, I would just kind of absorb it. And so when she said that, I felt kind of like, what? That doesn't really make sense. But it's like I started believing it, that, you know, I'm a dirty person, so I can never be clean. She had this weird thing about making everything almost spotless, and you had to be clean and everything, and I couldn't always live up to that expectation. So even when I got older, I would like, every person who was kind of like my color or lighter than me, I would think, oh, maybe they're dirty. Like she was saying that, you know, us who are darker skinned, we take care of our home, we do this, but you guys, no, you don't. You're dirty. You're not like us, sort of thing. So I started thinking that I wasn't like that. I started thinking that there was something wrong with me, that, you know, because of how I am, I'm a dirty person. I can never really become clean. So it did kind of like have like effects in my mind. I started seeing people who, before that I had no prejudice, or I had no.
You weren't racist?
No, I wasn't. I didn't have any like idea of like that. I just thought I was normal, like I'm just normal like everyone else. So when she said that, I just started looking at people differently. I couldn't like get the image out of my mind. I would think, yeah, no, that person is probably dirty. That light-skinned person probably dirty because, you know, of what my stepmom.
So in your head, in your mind, your innocent mind, now you were judging people based on their skin color, and that was coming from your stepmother. You know, hammer it into you, saying that you are dirty.
Yeah.
And you see how powerful words are, right?
Yeah.
How did that affect you as were you a young girl, a young woman?
When I was that age, it didn't really affect me as much. But when I got older, probably like 12, 13, because alongside that, it was like other things that got kind of thrown at me. So like my self-esteem really went down. I thought that, I was always told, you know, when you grow up, you're never going to be able to come out to anything, because, you know, you can't take care of a home. Only us who are dark skinned, we can take care of them, because we know how to do hard work and sort of thing. And I was thinking, well, I'm like you, I'm not any different, sort of thing. So I always thought, it kind of got hammered into my head that I probably wouldn't make it. She would always like, kind of like think, I would think that I wouldn't become like a woman. I wouldn't know how to take care of a house, because she would kind of always say, you can't do this, you don't do this right, because, you know, you're so dirty because you're so light. And I thought, oh my gosh, so when I get older, I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm not going to be able to take care of a home, because, you know, I'm not like her. So it did really like affect me. It made me, I was even depressed at that stage when I was like 12, 13.
Really?
Yeah, because I just thought I was going to amount to nothing. There was like no point to do anything. So even though she said that, and she said a lot of other things, but that one specific comment that she made, it kind of stuck out to me like for a really long time.
Now that was from your stepmother. Did you get any support or the same kind of words from your father?
No, not really. He wasn't really there, so he didn't really say much, to be honest. But when they would like speak and everything, they were really like, for them, it was like they were the superior ones, and everybody else was like a different race. They were the inferior ones.
Now, would she behave like that in the home, or would she basically show her opinions outside on the street with other people?
I think it was mainly at home, but the way in which she would probably speak to different races was different. It was as if she spoke to someone who was her complexion, they were really bubbly, they were like good friends. But when it was like, even if watching something on TV, or she see like a white person on TV or something, what she would say will always be negative about that person. So as I was growing up, it's kind of everything that they said kind of like went into my head, and it kind of got absorbed in my mind, thinking that those who are not like of dark complexion are quite. She'll always like say that they can't. They're not like them. We're the superior ones. We're the stronger ones physically. We can handle a lot more things. No, they can't handle those things. We're the better race. So whenever she would speak, it would always be to belittle the other races. So it's like she would never accept for that race to ever like win, or she was really proud against them. Be equal. Yeah, she said no, they can't be equal. They can't like disrespect her. No, she must be the ones that is like, no, she must be the strong one. They must be the ones who like kind of bow before her. So even going to school, it's like I had that kind of prejudice in my mind, and even my friends were kind of like that, because they were dark. I was the lightest out of them. They were the darkest as well. I got accepted by them because everything I was like them. But the way in which they would speak to even teachers, if the teacher was like a different race, not black, then it would be very difficult for like my friends and even me. I started acting like that to even respect the person. I started seeing that no, if they were to like come against me and put me down, I said no, they can't do that because I am the stronger one. No, they should be the ones that to bow before me. I was very like harsh against them because of what my stepmom and my family back home, what they would say. It kind of came into my mind. And
that's something that I've heard, and not just in Jamaica, because you're from Jamaica. In most cultures, they have this. In India, they have the caste system, right? In Jamaica, the lighter you are, it's like the better you are, right? Yeah. Whereas the darker you are, you're not good. You're not going to make it in life, and some people even decide to have children or have a family with someone who's lighter complexion, so that their children can come out lighter, so they can have better opportunities in life. So where does that come from? And in your case, it was those negative words that were bombarded in your young, innocent mind from a young age, and maybe that's what you've been facing. From a young age, people have told you that you are dirty. People have told you that you are no good as a female, that you'll amount to nothing. You feel you are discriminated against, and you've been brought up that way, and now you think that that is the truth. You think that you're no good. You think you can't make it. You think you're ugly. There have been incidences that we've had guests on the show who have said because they didn't like the color of their skin, they would, kind of scrub off the black from their skin, for example, because they felt as though they weren't good enough, they were dirty. And maybe you feel this way because, as I said, the color of your skin, you feel you're no good, your sex or something else. People have put you down, even from members of your own family. Well, you're going to hear Kimberly's story, the rest of her story, how she turned out and also how she changed her life. Before we do that, let's go for some street interviews. Let's hear what people had to say on the streets of London on this, and then we're going to go for a break and we'll be back to hear the rest of Kimberly's story.
There's no stereotype anymore.
Protect yourself, sometimes you probably do.
It will heal, but it will always...
They're humans, they have the ability to use their initiative.
Find it difficult to just be happy in this life.
Hi,
I'm Victoria Edgecombe, and tonight on Finding Answers, our topic is discrimination. So I'm going to be asking the general public, do you think that discrimination is more common in places like London with high diversity, or do you think it's less common? Do you think discrimination is more common in places with a diverse group of people like London, or less common?
I think it is more common in London because when there are so much different interests, so they collide or something like this is going to crash.
Some people might think there'd be less discrimination, but in rural areas where there are less cultures living together, people are unused to different cultures. However, really in London, there's a lot of cultures living in close proximity to each other, so that could cause more friction.
I think it's less common discrimination in a diverse city like London. See, I've grown up in London all my life, and I love the diversity here. And everyone I know that lives here or comes here loves the diversity. That's what makes London the best city in the world, and that's why it's amazing. You see, when you live with other people from other cultures, other nationalities, you learn that they're just other human beings. They just want to live their lives happy like you do, and then you learn to experience their culture, learn all the amazing things they offer to the world. So yeah, the more diverse the places, the less discrimination will go on, definitely.
Hi, the Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, you saw the interviews before the break, and I was just thinking that, you know, we break all the rules of TV, because normally when you see, I've noticed over the past few years, when there's a subject, when it's an issue on race or anything to do with religion or anything like that, you always get an interviewer who is of an ethnic background. But who do we have? We have Victoria. So you see, we don't care, you know, we like to do things free And, you know, we want you to feel comfortable to call in and give us your opinion. So let's go back now to Kimberly, who's going to share the rest of her story. Now, Kimberly, you were saying that because of what your stepmother, how she was telling you certain things about yourself because of your skin color, you started to get depressed. Can you tell us about that?
Through the first years, everything kind of like didn't, but it became like a climax when I was like 13, 14, where I just felt kind of really, there was no point of life anymore, which at like 13, 14 is not really something I should be thinking about. But I was like that. Even my friends, they knew I was really, really depressed. They would even ask me questions like, oh, do you hate your life? And I always say, oh, yes, I do. Because they could just see in my face that I was
Why
really
would your
depressed.
friends ask you if you hate your life?
I don't know. They could see the depression inside of me. They could see that I was just like going downhill. I would cry at school. Everything
Really?
just at my life at that moment just seemed like everything was going really bad.
Didn't you feel to at least go, maybe ask for help from one of the teachers you looked up to? Did you do that?
I didn't really think anyone understood me, because when you've heard so much negativity, and in your mind is like you just think that no one would understand you. So I never thought anybody could understand me. I didn't think anybody who was like older would understand what I was going through. So because of what I went through in my family, all the older people, they kind of dismissed me a little bit. I thought everyone was going to be like that. So I became really, really depressed, and I just thought, what's the point of life? So for me, because I became so depressed, I just turned to TV. I would literally sit there the whole day and just watch TV completely. That's the way for me just to kind of come out of the reality and just enter a different reality. I didn't want to be in my own world anymore. I didn't want to hear all the negative stuff on the TV. I saw.
So what type of things did you used to look at?
Anything at all. I'll watch anything. I mean, any program that came on.
Soap operas, comedies?
It would be maybe soap operas, a bit of comedies, probably MTV based a little bit. I literally watch everything. I mean, anything that was on Sky, I would most likely have clicked through all the channels.
So if this program was on at that time, you'd probably flick through.
Most likely, maybe.
Just to see what's going on.
Just to see what's happening.
Escaping from your reality.
I just want to escape. I just want to watch anything. When I watched TV, I wasn't depressed anymore. It's like it kind of filled a void that was already inside of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you switched off the TV, how did you feel?
When I switched it off, everything came back again. And I remember one instance, I was like 8 or 9, and my dad was there, and I literally ran home to go and watch TV, and my dad said I couldn't, and I was literally shaking. I got really, really angry. Like my whole body was like, it was as if I almost became dependent on the TV.
As young as 8 years old?
As young as 8. It's like already in school, I already thought I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna do this. My dad told me no. It's like I started panicking now. I got really, really angry at him, like for no reason. He was even surprised that why I acted like that. It's because I needed the TV just to keep me like going, because without a TV, everything else was kind of.
So would you watch it on your own, with the family, in your bedroom?
No, I would isolate myself. I didn't like watching TV with others there. I wanted to just watch it by myself, so I could kind of be by myself. That's what I became like really isolated from people. I didn't really socialize that much with my friends. They would go out and stuff like that. I was just in my room watching
8 years
TV.
old.
8 years old. That's what I liked. I didn't really find a need to be with friends or anything like that. I didn't really enjoy that anymore.
That's shocking, right? Now, you said you were suicidal.
Yeah. When I was like 13, 14 is when everything kind of became really like almost too much for me. I felt like I was going kind of insane. Like the thoughts I was having they were even scaring me. And I was thinking, gosh, am I going to go through this for the rest of my life? Of like 50 years from now, am I still going to be feeling like this? I thought, gosh, I can't live like that. I can't live just every single day just feeling this way. Because I watched TV so much that I would get information from it. So I remember watching a TV program, and they said that, teenagers all go through this. And I thought that can't be possible. It's like they were saying that it was almost normal for you to feel depressed at this age. And I just thought, I don't think I can go through another 5 years until I'm not a teenager anymore to just stop feeling depressed. So,
how did you change?
When I got invited to the church, a friend of mine invited me to the church, and she was so excited about it. She seemed so happy, and I thought, oh my gosh, okay, let me try this place, because she's so excited about it. And I came, and it was really different because people, they were different to the people that I had met outside. It wasn't so much negativity, because I never ever heard that you know, oh, you can make it, or you have talent, you can do it, sort of thing. I would always have the opposite, that, you know, you're amount to nothing, you're this and that. So when they said that, it kind of like started changing inside of me. I became happier. I started smiling. I even surprised myself, like, oh wow, I'm not feeling depressed anymore. So it's like the value for myself kind of came back. What I found that was missing was that kind of positivity that I never really had before.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of changed coming to the church.
So what did you learn? I mean, were you judged by your skin color when you went to the church?
No, I wasn't. That was like the last, that didn't even occur. I even stopped thinking of that. I stopped thinking that would have been an issue, or that people think that I'm dirty because...
Was that because you were around positive people?
Yeah.
Whether black, white, Indian, Asian, Chinese?
They were really positive. They were always wanting me to like kind of move forward. Even when I didn't want to, they wanted it for me. They would always push me. There was never, even when I would say no or anything like that, they would never like get angry and shout at me. They were very patient, and they would always help me to kind of like move forward. And that's what I kind of started realizing that.
So that was a total opposite of what you
learned before
at home.
Yeah, completely.
How is Kimberly today?
Kimberly today, she's really happy. I mean, if someone says something bad to me or something negative, I don't become almost depressed or bad about it. It's like I'm able to just kind of overcome it now, because like now I have value for myself. I can go anywhere, and it's like I know that I'll be okay.
Most importantly, do you love who you are, your skin color?
Yeah, I don't think that people who are like light or white or dirty or anything like that. I just look at people as they're people. I just judge them for their character, not for what they look like on the outside.
Yeah. And something that you mentioned, that you found help by going to church, which many people do. And even churches are discriminated against, because, you know, church is not one color, this color or that color. We have people saying that, oh, you know, that's a black church, or that's a white church. And church is not for black. It boils down to a nation's church, an African church, or a West Indian church, or anything like that. Church is universal. Church should be for everyone, right? Where you go, where you attend, are the people there of mixed backgrounds?
Yeah, there's many different people that is there.
And that's how the church is the people. Yeah. It's not the color of those who attend skin, right? Church is about the people. And if you have been, how can I say this? Influenced by society's idea of whether it's race or how women should be or how men should be, then we are caught up in this trap. We have been brainwashed into thinking that we should believe in certain things, like the video that we showed you, right, of the man with the beard. Is society stereotyping things, and it's making us make our opinions, it's forming our opinions. And maybe your opinions about yourself are being formed by the people around you, by the ones closest to you, by the things you watch on TV. And I can say that if you want to be brainwashed, if you want your ideas and opinions to be cleansed, be removed, so you can be like Kimberly today, valuing herself, then it's possible. You know, would you like to look in the mirror and not worry about your skin color, but actually value yourself? You know, value who you are. Even though friends, family, teachers, friends, colleagues, work, whoever the case may be, even strangers, maybe strangers make comments about you out of nowhere, and that affects you. Why? Because you don't value yourself. I mean, when I was younger, I was affected by this, by friends saying certain things about me. Because I was young, I didn't know any better. You looked up to your friends, you know, you want to join a group, the peer pressure and all of that. And when the people closest to you put you down, so who do you turn to? You want to feel welcomed by the people that you're around. But if you don't have that, then who do you turn to? Well, I tell you who you can turn to. You can turn to God. because he can help you. He can restore you. He can make you into the person that you really want to be, but maybe you don't have that strength to find that happiness or that peace that you want. So we're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be saying a prayer for you that feel downcast, you feel heavy, you feel sad, you feel discriminated against. For whatever reason, you know, prayer can help. So I advise you, if you want to join us, get your glass of water ready, because when we come back, we're going to go for the prayer.
How does a person gain control of themselves again? Let us help you.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm a Christian, and this is my story. Growing up, I never missed going to church. And when I was 12, I accepted Christ as my Savior. I was even baptized. It undoubtedly was a very important decision. It even affected how I lived in high school. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had fun on the weekends. I had a girlfriend, a couple, but I was a normal high school kid. College was one big blur, but I did make it to church out of obedience. And after school, I married a great girl, and she's been a great influence on me. Life's been good. I have a house, 3 kids. I couldn't ask for more. I mean, sure, I worry about my future. I mean, my marriage, it could be better, and I need to spend more time with my kids, but things will be all right. I have my faith. You may not hear me talk about it a lot, but it's just because it's personal. But don't worry for me. My Jesus is real.
One-third of women in the world are victims of violence or sexual abuse. The World Health Organization considers the problem a global endemic. After all, these women are everywhere. She sits next to you on the bus. She walks past you in the aisle at the supermarket. She could be your manager, a friend, your sister. She could be the person you least expect. For this reason, let us break the silence. The Rahab Project invites you who have been a victim of physical, verbal, or sexual abuse, or any other form of domestic abuse, to participate in a meeting aimed at your physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual freedom, promoting peace to all women who are or have been victims of abuse. For more information, call 020-7686-6000 or visit our website uckg.org/Rahab.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like a prayer concerning your spiritual well-being, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
My God and my Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I want to pray for this viewer who feels alone, who feels that no one else, not even their loved ones, understand them because they've been put down, just like Kimberly. Those words about their skin color, about the way they look, even about their sex or religion. This person feels isolated from everyone. They feel as though they can't talk about their problems to anyone because not even close family will understand them. My God, we live in a multicultural society. We live next door to people. We work with people from different backgrounds. We are even married and have children, and we see it more and more, and that's a good thing. But yet there are people out there who don't accept other people's decisions, other people's choices. My Lord, I pray and I ask you to help this person who feels as though everyone is against them. They've lost even their own opinion about themselves. They don't value themselves. They don't value who they are because they've received so many negative words. Come and strengthen this person, my God. Come and help them to look at themselves, to love themselves, to, when they look in the mirror, be proud of who they are. Be proud of what they look like, how they were born, my God. So take away this inferiority complex. Take away those hurtful words that have remained with this person for many years and help them to move on. Don't let them judge others either. Don't let them judge others because of the way other people treat them. But let them, my God, see others the way that you see us. So in the name of Jesus Christ, I bless this water. And I ask you now that when they will drink it, all the rubbish they've kept within be washed away. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Drink this water now, and may the Holy Spirit cleanse you from inside. Well, if you would like, maybe you didn't want to speak on air regarding this subject, but if you would like some advice, a prayer even, would like to share your opinion with us, then after the program, the lines are still open. I'll be, there if you would like to talk with me about anything, something personal, something that you don't want to share live on air. All right? We'll be back with another testimony tomorrow. So have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.